What's up, everybody? Shawn here with another Live to Roll. We're here for another fun show with a good friend of the show that's been in the chat many a times, and first time we're lucky enough to have her on the show, so should be an awesome one. So yeah, let's get into some intros and let her introduce herself. I'm Shawn. I'm a C5, C6 quadriplegic from a snowboarding accident 20 years ago. Bobby, take it away.
Yeah, I'm Bobby Rohan, C56 as well, from a cycling accident 35 years ago. Tom.
Tom Conaway, aka T Fizzle, C5 6. No, I'm not. I'm a C6B quadriplegic. I wonder why I said that. Oh, I'm a C6B quadriplegic. I'm going on 27 years. Crazy. And we have an awesome friend of the show. If any of you
Hi.
have ever hung out with us on the gaming channel, she's usually on live hanging with us, Miss Viv Venus herself, aka T Viv, because she's so cool on the show and so good at games. We usually give her the moniker. But Viv is an amazing young woman, Girl Scout extraordinaire, is budding into YouTube fame, and we're really excited to talk to you and hang out with you today. Do you mind telling us a little bit more about you?
Yeah. Hi. I'm Viv, and my pronouns are she, her. I'm 20 years old. I have an L5, L6 spinal cord injury. I've been injured for 7 years. I was born with spina bifida, and my spinal cord was damaged during one of my tethered cord surgeries. So yeah, that's kind of like a little short thing. I also have a full neck fusion. So I was also born missing a bone in my neck, which is also fun.
Wow.
So lots of things on top of things, but I've managed, and I'm here now. I've gotten my gold award. I've created disability awareness training videos for my school district, and I was in a Jubilee video, so that was a lot of fun.
Oh, that is awesome. And I do just want to touch on some of your other accolades and achievements. If I'm not mistaken, you received like the highest, I don't know the best way to say it, the highest you could achieve in Girl Scouts, right?
Yes, I am a gold award Girl Scout.
Which is amazing. Not too many young ladies achieve that, and it is really something. And it is speaks to a lot that Viv has done for the community, specifically the disabled community, which is super awesome because that's what we love to do here at Live to Roll is spread awareness and education, and Viv is all about that. So that's really cool. Can you maybe talk to us a little bit about your experience through Girl Scouts?
Yes. So I've been in Girl Scouts since first grade. And I was able to participate in a bunch of events, and thankfully my Girl Scout troop would always like accommodate me. At the time I was wearing leg braces. So like it would get in the way sometimes, but I would still like manage, and like people around me were always like willing to like be open and like accept me. And so once I was injured, like the only like extracurricular thing I could pretty much stay in, because I did flocorico, I did like dance, I did t-ball, I played other different things. After like my injury, I was no longer able to participate, and Girl Scouts was kind of like the only thing I could keep. And so I stuck with it, and what really like cheered up my spirits after I was injured was because I was injured in January, and my birthday was in February, and I was not feeling the best. But they like forced me out of the house, and they had a little party for me, and that's like kind of what got me to stay and not like leave and revert like back into like the house and stuff like that. So I'm very thankful for my Girl Scout experience. I've made like great friends there. And we went on a trip on like this 3-story cabin, and I wasn't able to like walk or anything. So my friends literally carried me on their backs the entire 3-day weekend to like allow me to be able to keep participating and having fun with them. So yeah.
Nice.
That's
That's
really
super
cool.
awesome.
Yeah. Would you like me to go in a little bit further about my gold award?
Heck yeah.
Well, yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Um, so for those of you who like know Boy Scouts, like the highest honor is like an Eagle Scout award. The Gold Award is the equivalent to that. It's kind of like a little intro. So what I did is I experienced lots of issues in my school district with accessibility, they had a lot more problems. I ran into they were not prepared for me, honestly, my entire school life. So I was like, okay, the problem has never been my peers, because if anything, my peers were always the ones who were willing to help me. I had a lot more prejudices. I faced a lot more prejudices from staff and teachers as well, during my whole time. So I was like, okay, what they need is training on this. So I created little videos. They're on my YouTube channel. I created little videos kind of like explaining like, hey, this is kind of what would help, what you should do. Um, and just trying to teach other people like what like how to like be with a disabled person.
No, that's really
It's
great.
super,
How
it's
long have you
super
been
cool.
making the YouTube videos? For like
I made these a while ago. I haven't posted too much recently. I post more on
yes.
TikTok than anywhere else pretty much. um
I'll make sure to
that's
add your
just like I
TikTok into the description
think.
after the show. Send it to me if you can.
Okay,
A link
it's
for
my
it.
same Instagram handle.
Okay, I'll make sure
Yeah.
to try to get that in there.
I had a very similar experience with like growing up in the chair and facing like public schooling. They, you said it best. They were not really prepared for me when I showed
Yeah.
up. And you said it too. Like I feel like most of the discrimination, most of the difficulty that I faced and my parents faced was with the staffing, with the teachers. There was a lot of like assumptions made about my abilities, about my function, about what I could do and what I could achieve, and all these biases were by the teachers and by the administration at the time, and wanting to put me into special education and not wanting to like accommodate normal classrooms for normal socialization and stuff. And
Oh yeah.
it
Like
a huge fight my whole school, like public schooling career until I graduated. And it did, thankfully, through my efforts and my mom's efforts, I guess my whole family efforts and friends' efforts too. There was more awareness made, and that I was not the only kid in a chair too, which helped, I think, contribute to more positive change. But I just always wonder how much of it stuck around, and it's really amazing to hear that you're so forward thinking and that like because you said it, that's absolutely what they need is training or just like at
yeah.
least some discussion about how to go about it. I mean, everyone needs like just how we've gone through like ambassador training and stuff at like Triumph Foundation. They teach you how to talk and what to be aware of and what to navigate some of the nuances. And it's super, super, super important. So I think that's really amazing.
Yeah. Uh, yeah, so I'm like, yeah, you said it. I'm like, like even more. I'm like, yeah, I'm relating to like they were. There's so many things from the staff. So I actually presented my problems to the school board during the public comment section, and I called them out basically, is what I did, and I was like, hey, I got left behind during an earthquake drill. Like my teacher left me behind, and I wouldn't have gotten to the proper evacuation area if it wasn't for other students. Like they held me up. They held me up so they could get my chair into the grass so I could get into the proper evacuation area. And they shouldn't have had to do that. Like there should have been a plan.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Let- if I can go back to the Girl Scouts, name a couple of the hardest things that were, that you had to face getting some of those achievements um, throughout your time in Girl Scouts.
So it's actually like so it's a singular project and you have to plan, you have to have about 80 hours of work on it. So that includes like researching, talking to people, like my contact with the different people of the staff, like working with them is what I had to do to get this gold award. It's a little bit different than how like like Boy Scouts do it. Like you can do your gold award without having to complete other things first. But it's still like a very like challenging process. Like I believe the statistic is like 6% of girls achieve their gold award, is what they told us at the ceremony. And there's this big old ceremony. It's really great. I'm so glad I did it. I met a lot of cool people. I've been able to do a lot of cool things because of this gold award. I was able to be in the Rose Parade, which is pretty cool. So
That is awesome.
yeah.
I did want to shout out a comment real quick. Graciela, thank you so much for joining us. And I think she asked earlier if we were going to be at the Rolettes Experience. I don't think any of us guys are going to be there this year with Live to Roll, but Viv is going to be at the Rolettes Experience. That is super exciting. And it's going to be your first time, right?
Yes, it'll be my first time there.
Nice.
I'm excited. I'm not sure like what to expect, but it seems like it's gonna be a lot of cool, like a lot of fun. I've planned my outfits, sort of, but we'll see.
That's awesome. Hopefully you guys can link up there. That'd be great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. So Graciela, keep an eye out for Viv. She
And,
can't
and
see yet.
Brianna and Maya from the channel will be there. Also, Brianna and Maya will both
Oh,
be there.
okay, cool.
So.
That's so funny. I was talking to Brianna the other day, and she's like, "I'm planning out my outfits for the Rolettes Experience," just like you said. I was like, that's so funny.
Yeah.
But no, I think what you can expect is a ton of fun, a ton of positive people, very cool, interesting classes, lots of dancing, lots of dressing up, and a lot of fun. That was been my experience in the small, like the few times that I've been for parts of it. It's been really cool. Great to see a bunch of awesome ladies out there supporting each other.
No, it is. It's a good event for women for sure to go and try to check out. Even if you can't go for the whole experience, just if you're local and you can go visit, I feel like you could even meet so many people. It's a great thing to do. So, Bobby, go ahead.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you. So you kind of called them out, especially during that earthquake drill that you had. What was their reaction? I mean, what did they do to back it up?
So during the public comment section of a school board meeting, the school board itself is not allowed to comment on what I am saying directly. But after the meeting ended, they assigned people from student services to speak with me to develop something to fix this. That was their response. They could not give me a direct response right then and there. I did create pamphlets and I brought them, like little brochures. I brought them with me and I handed them out to everyone. And like other people who were there for other reasons, they were just so willing to like read it, and they were happy to have this information. I included info on like what's the difference between a 504 and an IEP, and that way parents could decide what's the best option for their kid to help them with their schooling. But yeah, they did assign people to me after the meeting because they were not allowed to comment directly.
Yeah. And do you want to tell people, I know because of my daughter, but what those are, IUPs and 405?
Like I might need a refresher, but I believe like an IEP, like it's been like over a year now. But like an IEP is like has a little bit more. It's a little bit more stricter from what I remember because I've had both.
I think it stands for an individualized education plan.
Yeah,
I totally made that up in my head. But from back in my day, I remember I had an IEP, and it was just exactly that kind of. We did go over those things. Like we went over the emergency drill protocol, like for me in my chair and like that situation. If there was any classroom activities that weren't accessible, it might have been a concern. And we had like annual semester meetings with my teacher, like, where we like talk about like my progress and how I was doing and stuff. And I remember I hated those. I hated those with a passion.
Oh yeah.
So self-conscious, and I don't know, it's just they're like talking about my grades and they're talking about my performance like right in front of me. It was the worst thing. I don't know what the 504 is. Do you know, Bobby? Can you enlighten us on that?
It's just not as structured. It's just more about stating. It's like when you're just going through some of the learning abilities, not really all of the accessible abilities. That's what the 504. So it's more about the learning than the accessibility. Where IUP has both. We're trying to make sure everything is accessible for that student. In the sense for my daughter, making sure that she was safe in the type of classroom that she was in, making sure that she had proper care and Also, that let's just say if she came home stinky or wet from toileting, so we would address that, and so that would come up every so often, and then we would talk about the educational plans. But for somebody with just a straight learning disability, that's what that's for.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah.
that's awesome and super super important.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you have any kind of classroom accommodations, Viv? Like, did they have a specialized desk for you, or anything
Uh,
that requires?
kind of. Not really. They had like different desks. They would every morning in my science class for freshman year, they or like my science class just in general, they would have to move because they had the tables with the attached chair. Every morning, my teacher was supposed to be the one doing this. This is what was in the plan, was he was supposed to be the one to move this desk and then move in this other desk so I could roll in and like sit there and learn. But my teacher forgot every morning, so I relied on this other kid who I met. I made friends with him. He moved that desk for me every morning, and I thank him for it. So yeah.
Nice.
That's your peers.
Yeah.
Like,
Uh,
A lot of times you see students step up like that. There's always one or two that will definitely look after that student that might need that little bit of assistance, which is
Yeah.
always great.
Yeah. I've also gotten stuck on the second floor of my school building as well, which is another experience. Which because they did not want to allow students to use the elevator, regardless of what you had going on. But eventually, they did give me a key. So
You didn't go to my high school, El Camino. That's why I didn't go back to high school, because they're like, oh, we can't give you a key or any. And I'm like, I'm not going to go back my last year for this, for my senior
yeah,
year. So, like, let me take the test, because, I mean, it gives you no power. Like, just go into the classroom and ask the teacher. I'm like, they're not going to care to come out when they're going to be busy. It was just a joke.
yeah,
I
and
know.
like for me, the doors they're so heavy now. For certain reasons, they have to be extremely heavy and hard to open, so it makes it even harder for me to get into a classroom. And I had to rely on another student
Yeah.
to get a teacher to call the front desk, and I had already called on my own.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's frustrating. Um,
Yeah.
how's your experience been since high school? I know you've been taking some classes at a JC, right? Community college.
Yes. I'm going to community college right now. I'm studying social media marketing. I like started like fall of 2022 and then I had to take like about a year off. One like unfortunately my grandma passed and then the semester after I was going to start I ended up having to have a somewhat urgent surgery. So that kind of got in the way again. And but now I'm like back. I've been doing different things. I like they had like a dance there. I made an outfit for myself. I've been making friends. It's been a lot of fun. I've been involved on campus as well.
That's another thing about Viv. She's an extraordinary crafts person and seamstress. So there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of cool crafts. Made some cool crafts for us, some of which I still haven't received. Um,
Yeah.
but um, but she
well,
makes a lot of really, really cool, awesome, amazing things. And I think the sewing is particularly impressive. Um, but the reason I asked about the community college and stuff too is, have they been accommodating? Has your experience with the disability resources department been good? Like, has it been better than like the public school experience, or not really?
Sort of. Not like not the best. Unfortunately, I actually this last semester I just kind of gave up. I took like I was doing online classes, but I also needed some other accommodations for like my memory and stuff because I do have migraines, so I needed accommodations for like online stuff. But I just like toughed it out and went without these accommodations this last semester because I was tired of having to deal with them. Which everyone's like, you should talk to them. And like, I just don't feel like I have to. I mean, not that I have to, but just it's more of an inconvenience. It was what it was feeling like at that point because they were not taking me seriously when I was saying what I was saying. I had to be like, hey, my mom went to college and got her master's. My dad has a bachelor's. My brother has a bachelor's. They did not take me seriously until I said all these things. Like, they thought I did not know anything.
Yeah, I don't know. I found the experience with disability resources. I don't know it's a lot of extra work. It's a lot of extra communication, which can be stressful on top of everything else that you're doing. Like I remember I had like a crazy. It was like 17 units one semester. And I was like trying to do like all my ADA accommodations for my testing and stuff. And it almost got too much to where it was too much to try to coordinate and schedule. And I was like,
Yeah.
screw it. I'm just gonna take the test. So like standard way, or just speak to the teachers and see if they'd allow me like whatever extra accommodations I needed, without having to go through all the loops and hurdles of disability resources. I think it's really amazing that services like that exist, and I think it's important that there's like checks and balances with it. So like not everybody's like taking advantage of it, but unfortunately the due diligence required to ensure that the services are being utilized by the right people, it can be kind of a pain in the ass, and it can be just a lot of extra work, which is lame, but that's just having a disability. I've come to learn
Yeah.
is like, extra work
Yeah.
is part of living, baby. Like
Hmm.
it's what it is.
Yeah, I've been only like taking one class at a time because it has
Yeah.
been such a challenge. So it's like delaying me, but I'm like, this is the way I can do it right now. So this is how I'm gonna do it.
Yeah, and there's like ease yourself into it. To like, there's no need to like overwhelm yourself with like too much, and then have to deal with that. Like it's totally, I think, a great road to take is to kind of ease your way into it. Get familiar, get comfortable with your environment, the classes, the protocol and stuff, and stay at that pace. Or if you feel like you're able to take on more, then you can always. And I think that's cool. I went to junior college before I went to a state university, and it was one like a great learning experience. It was a great kind of socializing experience. Like I got to meet some new people, and it was just like it felt like that college environment, and it was, and it was also cheaper. Like I got to
Oh yeah.
save a crap ton of money on a bunch of general ed stuff that I didn't have to like pay for. Like 5, 6, 7, 10 times the price at a state university. I think that's
I try
cool.
to I try to talk a lot of friends into that. Like, don't tell your kid 2 years of community college, then go to your university. I mean, it's ridiculous. Why pay 2 years at this expensive college for all these general classes that you just have to get out of the way?
Yeah, and
Right.
I did find that like the socialization, I know at least for me, it is a leap from going from like high school to college. There's a lot more people. There's a lot of adults and stuff, especially like when you're fresh out of high school. And going to the junior college, like it helped me ease into that part of it too a little bit. I don't know if
Right.
that's
Right. Yeah, like I've been getting involved in like different clubs and stuff, trying to stay involved because that's what's really been making it a lot more enjoyable for me versus just like I'm doing my classes and that's it. But yeah.
now. I guess we should get to the topic of the hour. Um, it I've heard of this YouTube channel. It's a pretty big YouTube channel. It's called Jubilee, and they do a lot of um, social content. So content surrounding people and their life experiences. And I don't know if that's like the best way to describe it. But maybe you could describe it better.
Yeah, why don't we let Vera get.
Uh, like just like it's like about human connections sort of, and as well as like social commentary at the same time is what I feel like it's the best explanation.
Yeah. Um, Now you got an opportunity to feature on one of these videos, right?
Yes, yes, I did. It was called People with Disabilities Share Their Secrets. So we got the chance to talk about different things that we don't normally tell people, or that other like people, like able-bodied people, should hear or should know, or just different life experiences that we've had, that like just just kind of sharing stuff that we don't normally share.
Highly encourage everyone to go check out the video. It came out a couple weeks ago now. It was very cool. It was very interesting. It was very inspiring and emotional, and in a lot of different things. Um, and Viv was a part of it. Viv was like one of the main features on the video. And for those of you who don't know, Jubilee's like a pretty big channel. They got like millions and millions of subscribers and lots of viewership. And I mean, Live Troll is getting there, but Jubilee's on a whole nother level. Uh,
You guys
so
will be there soon.
yeah, that's what we're working on.
Yeah.
But tell us about your experience. Tell us about all of it, if you don't mind.
Yeah, so it was very interesting. It was very fun. When I got there, like a lot, like there's like a lot of people there, and I was like a little bit nervous, like to try and figure out what to do. There's lots of snacks, which was nice. Um, my mom took me because it was like over an hour of a drive, and I can't drive, so she took me, and she was like, she wanted to be there. She wanted to see how it worked. Everyone was super nice. Everyone was like super friendly. I like met some really cool people. Um, yeah, like
How
it was a great experience.
how many people with disabilities were there?
I believe it was 12 total.
And then it wasn't all physical disabilities though. Correct? It was a
Right,
variety of
it was a
disabilities.
mix.
Because we
Hmm.
listened to it, and there was like all kinds of different disabilities. You want to share any more about? I mean, not the people's personal stuff, but like just what other great information, like people you met and things like that. Like if
Yeah, yeah. I like shared a very deep moment with Kate on there, about just like how, like, after your injury, like you kind of wished it like killed you. Unfortunately, like that's kind of the thing that you go through, like when it first happens, and like how it happened for me. Like it was a lot. It was like a lot to process. I was 13 years old when I was injured. So like my brain was not ready for it, and it was just great to hear that I wasn't the only one who has had a similar thought. Knowing you're not alone in this thought is great. It's very like healing and soothing in a way. If that kind of makes any sense.
Makes perfect sense, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know if you guys would like me to share my secret. It was posted on TikTok.
yeah,
I was not in
and
the.
That's what I was waiting for.
I know. I was like, do you guys want me to share?
And then we'll
yeah,
share
So,
we'd
ours.
love to.
huh?
I said share yours, and then we'll share ours.
Okay.
We can do our own little
So
mini.
mine was, it makes me uncomfortable when people tell me they'll pray for me. Because I've had lots of experiences where just random people come up to me. Um, Particularly, it always happens at this one place, and when I'm with my brother, for some reason, it always seems to happen the most. But like people, like strangers, will just come up to me and they just interrupt what I'm doing. Like I'll be having a conversation with someone, and they're like, "Hey, like, can I pray for you? Can we pray for you? Like, you're really inspiring." And they tell you all these things. I'm like, what compelled you to say this? Like, other than my disability, you're not going up to other people to say this. I would understand if you're going up to more than one person, but you're specifically choosing me out of everyone in this mall. Like, just that's what makes me uncomfortable, because I know why they're doing it. And I understand, like, when it's family, I understand for them that it's a term of endearment, and that like that makes them feel good, and it's like it's a moment you have. But when it's a stranger, it's not. Like, I don't know you.
No,
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
I 100% agree with that. That's one of that drives me crazy. The praying, or just the always think like trying to help me or trying to push, like when they're like you're like no thank you. If I need help, I will ask you for help. I appreciate it. I do
Yeah.
not know you. Please do not touch me. That's like, and the
I do
praying.
not know you. Please do not touch me. I wish I had share that. Because so many experiences, strangers coming up in the bubble. My favorite one was when somebody said, "Not can I pray for you? Can I pray on you?" like they wanted to put their hands on me, but I felt like I was like a little wounded bird, and they were like some big prey, like they were preying on me or something. I was like, oh man, that's a funny way to word it. But
Yeah.
yes, and I don't know, I like people. I know like what they're doing is from a place of good intention, and older tone is like, okay, that's really sweet. I appreciate the positive vibes in my direction, but um, I've also like faced some really strange like rhetoric and like weird stuff that like people have said, like, like, oh, there's a reason you're in the chair, and just like stuff like that. It's like, oh, you guys don't know nothing about me or my life or like anything. Like, please don't assume or make assumptions.
Yeah. Or it's like, what is the saying? It's like, oh, God gives his strongest battles to his toughest soldiers is like something I'm sure a lot of us have heard before.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, yeah, totally, totally.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I had the other day. Well, it wasn't the other day. About now 3 weeks ago, and I was about to go push in at the beach and got out of my car and was crossing the street and just endoed. Um, my chair just tipped forward and hit my knees and my head and a little bleeding. And luckily, I was strapped in and everything, so I didn't go flying out or any. People helped me get on my back, and I'm like, just pulled the strap off. Let's get the chair away. Let me lay down. And there was about 4 or 5 nice people just really, helping out. Like, do you want water? I'm like, no, I'm good. And finally, this young lady came by. She asked, can I pray for you right now? And everybody's just staring at me. I'm just like, yeah, why not? Looks like I need it right now, huh? You know, and a couple people are like cracking up a little bit, but uh, you know, I, you know, I'm not as bothered by it. I know there are other things that do um, get on my nerves that I can definitely relate to when you have something that puts you in an uncomfortable situation um, that doesn't need to be done at a certain time. And, unless you're seeking it at a church, you don't have to force it upon me.
Right, right.
Yeah. So we all definitely understand where you're coming from. That is a 100.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
I love you. I'd like you to stop. Pray to
yeah.
stop.
And then
like
I was like, oh, I had some like what I always tell people, like whenever they see me struggling and like they feel the need to, I was like, I'm always gonna look like I'm struggling in a world that is not built for me. So if it looks like I'm struggling, it's because I am, because this world is not meant for me.
Yeah.
that's a very good way to put it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, what was the rest of the experience like? I know, I mean, we talked about it a little bit on the gaming stream right after you had done it, right after the video came out, but um, were you able to make some connections with some other friends? Like, do you have any plans to go back and do anything more like this with
Uh,
Jubilee or any other kind of content like this?
I may like do more Jubilee videos in the future. I did meet this one really cool person. She invited me to like my first college party, so that was pretty cool and fun. Unfortunately, I had an infection during the party, but I still went and I had a good time and I enjoyed it. I'm like very thankful for that experience. To be able to hear like other people, because a lot of the times I don't run into that many people who like grew up with their disability. Um, and so to hear like how other people had just like similar stuff happen to them, and like, okay, I wasn't the only one that faced this. Like it's just it was so healing. um I like I'm not gonna ever forget that experience. Probably it was amazing, honestly.
And did you guys all like go? Was it done? It looked like it was done like in a studio or something. Uh,
Yeah, it was a studio. We filmed for about 5 hours.
okay.
um yeah, it was like a 5 hour shoot. We they had like mental health coordinators on there to make sure everyone was doing all right, as we were just like getting on more like sensitive topics. So they did that. The director was great. He was like, if there's anything you want us to cut out, like after, like tell me and I'll make sure that it's out. Like this is for you guys. And he was a really cool guy. His name was Cole. Um, he was just so like willing to listen and like be there and make sure everyone felt safe. It was, yeah.
That's
Um, I think that's really great, and it's great to hear that you had a positive experience with it. I've watched some like similar content online, and I'm not saying it's all bad, but some of it I feel like is not being super considerate or sensitive to maybe the individuals that are being featured, and their disabilities are maybe being highlighted in a positive light. Maybe more like kind of supposed to be clickbaity or like PDE or like I don't know. I don't know. Some of the stuff that I've seen is just bad vibes on YouTube, and
Yeah.
sometimes like that's just how it is. And I know that Jubilee does a lot of content like this, so it's really kind of positive and reassuring to hear that it seems they go to really like great lengths to ensure that everyone's comfortable, that no one feels like they're you know being used in any type of way, and that whatever is shared is like uh, got their approval and stuff. Like they have some agency over what isn't shared if they feel like they shared something too personal. Like that's really really great to hear. It seems
Yeah.
like they have your guys' best interest. That was my impression when I watched it too. Like I said, I maybe did have a little prejudice into like some kind of these videos going into it, but like you said, it was just like what you said. And there were certain moments where it was almost like you're really relating to what somebody's saying because you haven't really like heard someone like speak that aloud before. Maybe it's like thoughts and feelings that a lot of us have had, but to speak it aloud and like be vulnerable and share that experience, and it's really something unique to like relate in that way. And that was like I certainly got those feelings when I watched it. So that was really cool.
Yeah, it was really cool. And anybody that wants to check it out, the description for Viv's video, or the link is in the description below if you want to check out the video for Jubilee. And I did notice I didn't watch any of their. I actually wasn't familiar with their channel beforehand, but I did see they do have, like you said, Tom, like a whole bunch of like really cool looking videos. Like seem like they're seem like a really cool, like a cool channel. A lot of mental health stuff and things like that on there for different people, like areas of. So it's cool. Awesome.
Yeah, a lot of
Yeah.
social commentary, a lot of important social commentary, and we got to be able to talk about things, especially things that we don't always agree with, or things we aren't familiar with and don't know about, because that's how we learn and that's how we grow. So I
Yes,
think
yeah,
it's
I know. I think if I were to go back and be on another video, I'd definitely want it to be with that same director again. I felt like he really like cared about his project. It was like a passion project for him. I could tell it was coming from his heart.
yeah,
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 that's really cool.
and
That's
that's
really
that's
great
that's a
to
good
hear.
vibe. We got a lot of God talk going on in the chat right now.
Well, and I think it's a personal, everybody has their beliefs, um, and so it can, what are the two main subjects that can fire up any audience? Religion and politics. And so religion can be one, and we all have our own beliefs and see things in a different way.
I,
Right. I
I
knew when I like was sharing my secret in it because I had to fill out an application. Because they just have like a casting email that you can sign up for, and that's what I did. So when I like put in my secrets, I knew that I wanted to word it a certain way because I knew it could easily be like misconstrued or edited a certain way, and that's also what I was thinking of the entire time I was speaking. I wanted to make sure that there is like no way that people could interpret it wrong. I didn't want people to feel like they were hurt by it or anything as well. I wanted to make sure that because I know you only have I forgot what it is, but like you only have so many like back and forths before the person stops listening and gets defensive. So I wanted to make sure that it wasn't like an attack. I wanted to make sure these people who are saying these things understood in a way um, that like helped them learn how to do better.
yeah,
That's the best thing you can do. Like try to, yeah, that's perfect. Try to teach a lesson, if you can. Maybe they won't do it in the future to others, and uh, yeah,
Yeah. And for, obviously, I can say also a woman's point, even for someone, the three of us guys too, when with a disability where we can't defend ourselves and people use things in strange ways and we don't know what their intentions are. And maybe it might not be a prayer, maybe it might be something else where they're ready to you know rob you or something like that. I mean, a lot of times we have our electronic devices out on our laps where it can be, inviting for somebody to come close into our space. And I think that's what you really get at, Vivian, when you talk about this, is our personal space, and it's very
Mhm.
private. We're trying to get through a door, and someone grabs you. All it takes is one momentum grab, and not understanding the way my wheelchair works, and that it is tippy. So you know be careful when no, don't grab me unless you ask and I know you were there. Just don't do it. I mean, I can sure that's probably a big one for everyone in this chat. um, I don't mind help. I just need you to ask and tell me when you're going to do it, and let me explain how to do it, because um, all it takes is one little slip or momentum, and we could be out of the chair.
I I learned that
Yeah.
lesson the hard way, like probably a year and a half into my injury, couple years into my injury. I was trying to push. I was coming to a curb cut, and somebody came up, ran up behind me, like, "Hey, let me give you a hand." And instead of letting me do a little bit of a lean back to pop my casters over the little lip in the curb cut, he just pushed me straight ahead and then continued pushing forward for some weird reason and literally just dumped me on the floor like a wheelbarrow. Like, burp, my front tires hit the thing and like literally just dumped me out onto the floor. I was all scraped up, elbow, wrist, knee, ankle, like literally like cut the side of my head. I'm like, bro, no means no. Like, so
Yes.
so that was like my lesson learned. And now if somebody, I will, if somebody does start to push my chair, I will harshly, like, I will, no, like, do not push me.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
unless I know you, like, no.
Which is totally fair. And even if, like, afterwards, like, sorry, didn't mean to get so defensive, but I don't want you to flip me over or whatever. It's like, just don't touch me. Just don't get my space unless you ask and get permission. It doesn't even hurt, or it's okay to ask too. Like, if you say no, then it's just like, move on. Thank you very much. And
It's
I've
nothing
never once
against you personally. Like,
yeah, and I've never once encountered someone who said they wanted to pray for me or pray for my healing, pray for my recovery or whatever, and like reacted in an like a negative way. Like it was always like, "Thank you, really appreciate it," or like if they want to pray with me or something, I'll be like, "I really appreciate you. Thank you for your thoughts and your prayers, but I'm okay," and just I move on, and that's it. And I just like, dude, tell them like I do appreciate it because I think you guys are right in the chat. Like, would say like, take any blessing you can, or whatever. Like, I'm with you. Like, if someone wants to give me some love, some like kind intention through just their thoughts and like what they're saying in their head, I'm all for it, baby. I'll take any love I can get. But it's a different thing to like try to not force me, but like incorporate me in a way in like their belief system or in their prayers if I don't necessarily want to be a part of it. Like I appreciate your positive vibes, I appreciate your good intention, I appreciate your words, and I'll leave it at that. And that's all good. And I think that's like the perfect way to go about it. The only time I really got peeved, well, maybe a couple times, but this one time really peeved me is a woman tried to give me a Bible and she asked me if I could read. She's like, "Oh, are you able to read this?" And this was like after having a conversation with her. And I was like, "You know what? I'm actually not able to read. You can have this back." I was like, "You have a nice day." Uh, and it was just like, I was like, "Oh, stop assuming, lady. Like, don't be making weird assumptions like that." Especially after we just like sat and had like, I'm like entertaining you and like having a conversation with you. I wasn't even just trying to entertain. I was just trying to make a connection with another human being. I think it was really weird, like to just like make that assumption that like
or
I
like you
must be.
also can't speak for yourself as well. Like they have to talk to the person you're with about what you
That's
want.
another one,
What?
yeah.
Like that's also another thing. Like
That is a
like
big one.
I can talk. I have words. Like listen.
My mom used to go when someone would go like, "Oh, how's Tom doing today?" She'd go, "I don't know. He's right here. Why don't you ask him?" And it was always be super awkward, but it was also like important for them to learn and know.
I just wanted to
Right, right.
highlight real quick Rob's comment earlier. Just really about it's just agree to disagree whether you're a believer or not. It's all just about spreading love. You know, being caring to one another. It's just what it's about. Treat others like you want to be treated, and live your life, put love into the world, not hate. So
Lead with love.
whatever
And
your religion or not is, just that's I feel like that's something that we can all do. So
yeah, and you're right, Sean. Rob said it. Lead with love. I love everybody, regardless of your belief systems, unless you give me a reason not to. I engage a lot of people when I'm out and about, like not verbally, but like I smile at people and like look them in the eye. Generally, because it costs nothing to smile at somebody, and I feel like that's the best way to just spread a little bit of love and positivity with another human being without having to talk or do anything. Um, but sometimes like that eye contact and that engagement and that smile, it like with the wrong person, they really want to engage with you or they really want to connect with you, and that can always be sometimes lead to not so positive interactions, just interactions like that where people want to come and pray for me. And then, like I said, it's all good. I'm here for the love, you know. Um, and yeah, I think everyone should just leave it at that.
I have another question too. Did you relate? Because I know a lot of people had related to you when you said that. Did you relate to a lot of other people's secrets and things when they were being told, or were some of them just different? Or yeah, just curious.
I think there's maybe only like two or three that I didn't relate to.
Okay.
Everyone else, I pretty much, I like, I felt the same. Like, I may not have felt it exactly in the same way they did, but I could relate to it on some level. There's, yeah, it like the whole thing with like trying to like get a job, how it just kind of feels impossible to work. Like I had a job for like a month and a half and then like lost it pretty much. So it's just like it's a challenge. I really I was like glad to hear these things from other people, just knowing like again knowing you're not alone, knowing you're not alone is the most helpful thing I feel when it comes to disability, like having a disability, because it's so isolating. um it's a very isolating experience, especially like if you have it growing up. I feel like it's harder because people are just, it comes from a lack of knowledge. People just not knowing like how disabilities work and like how they function, which it's different for everyone. So I know it's not easy to understand, but just it's a very isolating experience, and to hear other people and sit with that, like knowing that other people felt that same isolation is just is a very interesting and healing experience.
Oh, definitely.
Um, if anybody is looking for some regular connection and support like that, I really encourage you to try to find a local support group for your particular disability, or sometimes even just other stuff, other groups of people that you can go and connect with and relate to, and get support and love. But particularly if you're able to find, and there are even lots of them hosted online nowadays, if you're not in an
Yeah,
area
that's
so you can easily connect like locally, it's really easy to connect online. But that's what most of these support groups that exist are meant to do and meant to serve and meant to be regular. That regularly is just a way to talk and share, and also like listen and connect with others and their, you know your guys' shared experiences. um, those were some of the vibes that I got from the
Right.
video. Was, hey, this is like kind of just like edited together like support group in a way, in that like the way
Yeah.
everyone was relating to each other and sharing, very tough, intense, but really important, meaningful parts of being disabled and the experience of being disabled. Um, So just really encourage
Yeah, I felt
anybody.
yeah,
Go
I felt
ahead.
like I didn't like stick out like there. It was great to like feel that. When the video came out, we actually had like a little watch party. I hosted it on Zoom and we all like watched it and reacted together, and it was a lot of fun to just like be with those people again and like be like this is what came out of it, and just like talk more about stuff that we didn't feel comfortable sharing like in front of the cameras. We just kind of talked about it like on our own, and we have a group chat on Instagram, and we just like text each other every now and then like, hey, this is what's going on, this is what's happening, and it's just nice to like have people like that.
Yeah, you guys will always be connected through that now. So that's really
Yeah.
cool. Groupie.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
And yeah, finding love and support from your peers and your community and other individuals, I think is really important for keeping positive and maintaining your mental health and giving yourself perspective and gaining understanding. So there's lots of ways to do that nowadays. I just really encourage everyone to go out and support some other people, but also maybe find some support for yourself because we all need a little bit of love and support sometimes, or a lot of love and support sometimes, and that's okay too. Bobby, what's your secret?
Hmm. You go. I have to come up with one.
All right, Shawn, what's your secret?
I mean, in something like that, mine would be probably the just strangers help thing. Because like I had mentioned with the praying, like for me,
Steal your
bother,
secret.
but um, but like because yeah, like for more stuff, like able bodies, yeah, like don't know a lot of like in the world and stuff. Um, or another one is just for I don't know. Sometimes one of my frustrations in the days is, just because handicap, like like the handicap spots are available, it doesn't mean if you can
Oh
like
yeah,
if you're parking in it
the
and
armored
waiting,
trucks always
if you
park in
have a
those
placard, I have
intersections.
no. You can have an invisible disability. I 100% agree, and like I'm cool. But my thing is like, man, just put some of those farther out in the parking lot. I'll push. I don't care. I just need to be able to get out of my van. Like, I don't know.
Yes,
Those are a
yes.
couple of my things, I guess, that like my bothers me, and I guess secrets to the able-bodied world.
Okay, let's see if I can go real quick. How real do I get right here? Uh,
That was my thought filling out the
Yeah, I have
application.
one, Tom, if you want me. Mine's real quick too.
all right, hit me with the quick one.
Yeah, it's and I'm not going to put names out there. I will put two one celebrity, but when I first got hurt, and I don't wish any thing bad and wish she was paralyzed, but when Gloria Stefan, I think from I forget what she's a singer, pretty famous singer, and she was in a bus accident and it looked like she broke her back and she was going to be paralyzed, but she tried really hard and she got every all her return back. And then there was a football player that got returned and he said, well, I went out there and I tried my best. And and there's another gentleman that we all know, um, that had a lot of return because of, but all of them were incomplete. And in all of their stories that they tell over and over and over again, it just like explain what the spinal cord is and what it does. That I know you tried and I know you worked your ass off, and I don't downplay that, but you know, educate that. Thank God mine wasn't complete like some others, and it really irks me um, when that is brought up. And there's some that do it and some that says, I'm glad I'm incomplete, but there's a few out there, and there's one that we all know pretty well, and it just irks me to death. So that's mine real quick.
All right.
Um, I don't know if I got any pet peeves or anything like that. I'd say one of my disability secrets. Um, I love myself, but I also hate myself. I hate my disability. I love my body and who I am and what it's made me, but I'm very angry and hateful towards it too. I hate my legs sometimes. I hate my bladder and my bowels. I hate my spine and the fact that it doesn't work that great and it causes all of this. I love myself. I really do. I try to love myself every day, but I kind of hate a lot of myself too, if that makes sense to anybody.
No, that's a really very
Yeah.
real
I don't
thought.
think anybody loves their disability and definitely hates it, but they love themselves and who they are, you know. But yeah, no one, I'm sure there's not one person that says, yay, disability.
It's a hard thing though. I mean, it's a hard thing to love yourself and hate yourself like that. Like, I mean, it really is kind of a trip sometimes. Like, I mean, I work super hard to take care of myself and, like work. I mean, y'all know we talk about it all the time. But when sometimes I'm so upset at all this that it's like easy to not or easy to not want to while still having to, and like can just be very frustrating and very tough, tricky balance. But I balance that with the love that I give to myself too, even all the parts that I hate, and that's like a tricky thing. It's something that I worked on a lot, but yeah, that's my secret.
No, that's a
It,
good.
it's a hard like thing to process. I feel like just like I love who I am. Like I wouldn't be who I am if it wasn't for my disability. But I would like you just wish that it would be a little easier sometimes because it's like oh it's a good week. I feel good, and then like boom like another thing come and hits you like a truck and like really like I was having a good time. But yeah, I just
Well,
really
that's
like
like,
get that like love hate
that gets
relationship.
me frustrated too. There's so much when it's the other thing that comes in, you know, and it's like, uh, you know, some breaks in my house, you know, and I can't repair it. It's like, are you kidding me? I got enough on my plate that now I got this, you know, stop.
I know, like for me, I'm like, I want to decorate, I want to hang up stuff on my wall, but I can't. I have to ask someone else to hang up something on my wall. Like these
That's
things,
the
like
one.
my little paintings I have back here. Um, I was thankfully I have like an adjustable bed, so I was like, I asked my dad to like get me a hammer, and so I like used the adjustable bed to like raise myself high enough, and then like figured out a way to do it. But yeah, it's I'm like I want to hang up more decorations and posters, but I don't want to ask someone to do it.
Everything's just gonna be low at the RI level.
Yeah,
Like it's for
yeah,
me to see, not you.
yeah.
Shout out Mr. Fernandez T in the chat. Miss Olivia, I will call you soon, Olivia, I promise. Love you, appreciate you participating and hanging out, doing all you do. Jay Willie, and we got someone new in the chat.
Let's
Lean back,
lean
C,
back, Greasy. I wanted to shout him out.
C67 incomplete. Your videos do help me, brother. Well, you help us, dude. I appreciate you being here. I really do. Um, I'm glad that you found the channel. Shawn's got some really amazing videos up, and I hope that you are getting something from all this. And we're right here with you, dude, giving you a lot of love and support, sending you a lot of love and strength as you go through this journey. We're right here with you, all living it, going through it too. So,
If you ever
yeah.
want to reach out, you can reach out on Instagram or email me at Shawn@livetorule.org.
Tom at livetorule.org. Boom.
Yeah.
Bobby at livetorule.org. Let's go.
Bobby doesn't share his, do you share your email a lot? Or
I don't, if you, I know you gave me one. I just don't know how to check that one.
okay, so
If anybody does,
don't email Bobby yet. Email Tom
or you can hit me on Instagram. So.
or on Instagram. But yeah, so let's go ahead and we'll do our little sponsor thanks and shows, and then Viv will let you kind of have like a final thought or any bit of advice, anything you want to leave the Live to Roll people. So let's go ahead and thank our sponsors real quick. When you guys want to do it, you want me to go?
Hit him, Shawn. Hit us with it, dude.
I love the struggle while you're having a spasm. Go, Shawn.
I am. I had my catheter change this morning. I'm having 80 like all show, so I'm sorry if I've been like kind of quiet or looking funny. So thank you to our sponsors, mobility professionals and urology professionals, Mobility Professionals is a DME company, so if you need a wheelchair, walker, commode, anything like that, and you're in the Southern California area, give them a call. Their information is down below in the description. Check out their website, give them a call, email, anything you want to do. They will get back to you. They'll help you with everything, transitioning and getting everything ordered, getting through insurance. And then Urology Pros is their sister company, which is nationwide. So if you need catheters or any urological supplies, give them a call, email, get in contact with them, and get your supplies. They can get shipped right to your doorstep, no problem. So reach out to them, and they're all great people. I actually believe that they will be at the Rolettes Experience this weekend. I know they usually have a booth there and support, so check them out there if you guys are going.
Bernard just got his new wheelchair from them, and very sad.
One of the earlier comments too, I just wanted to let you know, Viv, Gracie Ellison, she added you on.
Okay, cool.
So you guys can help
I will
her.
follow you back. I'm like, I need more wheel friends.
For sure.
I want to start meeting up with different people, like talking to different people. It's been great because I've kind of just been on my own for a little while, for about 7 years until I started talking to you guys. So I'm excited for this like next chapter in my journey.
Well, I do have to say before we go on and talk about the rest of our shows, you've been such a benefit and such a welcoming presence on Loop to Roll. You've been hanging with me for, gosh, months and months now on T-Fizzle Gaming every Wednesday or most Wednesdays, sometimes Thursdays. Your presence is really amazing. Everything you have to say, I think, is really awesome. And we just really appreciate you being here and being a part of Loop to Roll, too. Being part of the community. So thank you, Viv. You're super awesome. And speaking of gaming with T Fizzle, come and hang out with us tomorrow. I'll be live. Viv might be on with us. We might be doing some Fortnite or some Minecraft or something else. But if you guys want to come, it's a really great hangout. If you're also into gaming, really encourage you to hop on with us and do some gaming. And then on Thursday, we have Rolling Over the Hill.
Yep.
With
second Thursday of the
month.
month.
Robert and Robert. Mr. Bobby Rohan and Robert Soto will be hosting their show, Rolling Over the Hill, talking about aging with disability. Second and fourth Thursday every month. You guys can look forward to that. I look forward to it every week.
We got a good friend from the show, Ken Nelson, coming on. And
Ken's awesome.
Yeah, Ken is joining us, and he's about to go into the world of colostomy. So we're going to bring up that, and he's 30 years post. And he's been on our show with public transportation, but let's see how things have changed with him for the last 30 years.
No, that's awesome. That'll be a great show. Ken's really nice guy, really cool.
And also on the other Thursdays, we have 2 shows featuring all the ladies. We have the Wheel Girl Talk with Brianna and Nikki and Ashley and Jessica. They're all super awesome ladies, and the show is for everybody. So I highly encourage you to go check it out. You won't want to miss it. And then Rolling with the Golden Oldies. First Thursday every month with a bunch of awesome ladies who've been wheeling through life for more years than even we got here on the show.
One of them was Tom's college professor.
Yeah, shout out Dr.
Alan Stoll.
Stoll. I can't believe I'm blanking on his name.
You're that far.
Professor for...
Dr. Stoll actually wasn't my teacher, but I had an opportunity to go and speak in her class on behalf of Child Foundation, just to speak on living with disability. And it was really cool. And we also were working together on getting some adaptive gym equipment brought into the big recreation center they have at Seaside, which didn't feature any, and I'm not sure it still does, but we worked together on that a little bit too. And Dr. Stoll is awesome. And on Mondays, we got Gaming with Hell Wheels is going to be back.
I think he should be back. I think he's feeling better and from his health things, so he should be back this Monday for gaming. So lots of big lineup for shows, lots of stuff coming up, you guys. So make sure to check out Tom tomorrow, Bobby Thursday, and we'll be back everything next week. So live to roll, everybody. We appreciate you guys. Everybody in the
Bye,
chat,
Eric.
thank you. And we'll see you next time.
Bye,
All right,
everybody.
thanks, everyone.